Good morning to everybody except the people that put the treadmill on a steep incline and then hold on to the rails. What is going on, everybody? We are on our way to do some cardio, and we are going to talk today about Ronnie Coleman, Retatrutide, and Refeeds. I probably won't have enough time to cover everything on the way to do cardio, but on the way back from doing cardio, I will. And if you're not doing cardio today, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? We do cardio 6 days a week here during a cut. I do it uh, for about 4 or 5 days a week when I'm not in the cut. I feel the fat burners start kicking in. One of the things that I do for cardio, getting ready for a show, I got my stomach wrapped right here. I put Vasoburn. I'm not affiliated with them. They're not the sponsor of any of this, but Vasoburn really does help with drying out the skin and getting it good and like getting that grainy look to it. Vasoburn does that. As I get closer to the show, I'll ditch the Vasoburn and I'll go to Vaso Dry. That's about 10 days out. Do that. So today we're going to talk about Ronnie Coleman, Retatrutide, and Refeeds. Ronnie Coleman, the king of bodybuilding, is in the hospital. He's been in the hospital since June 29th, and I'm going to read off a few things here of a timeline of him going to the hospital. You know that Ronnie Coleman has had issues and things like that since he's competed, and he has been in a wheelchair. He's been on those crutch things. He's lost a lot of everything. But I'm going to go through some of the stuff that's been going on with him so that we have a better understanding of, what, it sucks that he's in the hospital. So what happened, his family's updating everything on Instagram, and of course every other news outlet is kind of blowing it up and blowing it out of proportion. He's currently hospitalized in serious but stable condition due to a severe bloodstream infection. Don't know exactly, but usually a bloodstream infection is sepsis of some sort, and an additional underlying health issue that's requiring emergency surgery. His family provided an update on July 7th. That was yesterday, I think. Yeah, July 7th. Stating that Coleman's condition remains complex but shows signs of gradual recovery. The surgical procedure is scheduled to occur in the coming days, with the medical team expressing confidence in their approach. Coleman, age 61, remains under intensive medical supervision at a specialized facility, and his resilience continues to inspire fans. So he had to go to, I think he went into emergency surgery here. He's over the years he's underwent multiple surgeries, double hip replacement, procedures to spinal issues, which again what's left him in the wheelchair. Despite his issues, he's continued to train and do content and like run a business and all that. He's in pain 24 hours a day, 24/7. He's in some sort of pain, and so the primary condition of Ronnie Coleman, he's battling a severe bloodstream infection described as a serious but complex condition requiring intensive medical supervision. Just kind of went over that. The source of the infection is still under investigation, with diagnostic procedures ongoing to identify its origin. The secondary issue that he's having is during recent evaluations, doctor discovered an additional underlying health matter. His family hasn't really gone into detail about what it is or what's going on about in that regard, but additional underlying health matter that necessitates an emergency surgery procedure, which I think he's going into today, or maybe he did last night. His family should be providing an update here over the coming days, if they wish to. They don't have to, but them providing updates and keep us updated on the King, sure appreciate that. And prayers to their family that's going through all this. a lot of people will hate on Ronnie Coleman and say, oh well, he took steroids and he did this and he did that. He gave his life to bodybuilding to be the best that he could, and there's nobody really that had the mass that he had and had the conditioning that he had. Like, it's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable, and to watch his climb is crazy. Just crazy genetics. Long-term context, Coleman's mobility is severely limited due to chronic pain, complications from multiple past surgeries, particularly in the back and the hip. Double hip replacement is just crazy. I've had a hip replacement myself. He often uses a wheelchair. So this is the timeline leading up to it. I'm going to go through this, and then we'll probably get to the cardio here soon. June 29th, Coleman announces on Instagram a medical emergency that prevents his appearance at gyms, including Freedom Gym in Birmingham and Crayford Weights and Fitness in Dartford. This is in the United Kingdom. And he responded, "This ain't nothing but a peanut," and that's he's receiving his best care. June 30th, Coleman's family confirms that he was admitted to the hospital on June 29th due to serious medical condition. They provide no further updates, details, but ask for privacy and support, as they should. July 1st, the family reveals Coleman is being treated for a bloodstream infection and has been transferred to a specialized medical facility for intensive care. They note encouraging signs of progress, but describe his condition as complex. July 2nd through the 4th, continued updates indicate Coleman remains under close supervision with diagnostic procedures ongoing to pinpoint his infection source. His family expresses gratitude for the fan support, and we support him 100%, and emphasizes fighting spirit. July 6th, that's 2 days ago from today, Coleman's family announces that a severe blood infection discovered during a routine checkup requires urgent surgery. And July 7th, yesterday, was when they provided another update. And the family provides a detailed update stating Coleman's condition is serious but stable, with continued signs of gradual but stable with conditions of continued signs of gradual recovery. They disclose an additional underlying health issue requiring surgical procedure. We knew all that. And then, there's still reports, and the news is absolutely, they'll glorify basically everything that I said was provided by his family. The news takes everything that his family says and then updates everybody else based on all that. But yeah, he's in stable condition, going through surgery, has a blood infection. The guy has been through it. I mean, I hope Ronnie pulls through and, continue to lives on and lives a long life. This ain't nothing but a peanut. Lightweight, baby. So, prayers to Ronnie Coleman and his family. It's a lot that they're going through right now. And, I mean, I couldn't imagine, even, Ronnie is a bodybuilder. We see him as a bodybuilder, but, I mean, he's a father, a brother, brother, somebody's family member. I don't know his whole family tree or anything like that, but, he's a family member, and regardless of how we see him, he's somebody that is an important member of their family. So, prayers to their family. Pulling up to the gym here soon. Let's talk about some Retatrutide. It's been crazy on the internet lately. It's going through phase 2. I think the clinical phase 3 trials are starting today. I've done a lot of videos on TikTok. I'm going to do a lot longer video on YouTube for Retatrutide of, what it is, how it works. I'll briefly touch on it here in the timeline of like expectancy, dosage of what people are using. Not medical advice. And Retatrutide is still in clinical trials. I'm just reporting the science behind it. But, with other GLP-1s, Ozempic is just a GLP-1. Tirzepatide is a GLP-1 and GIP. And then Retatrutide is what they call like a triple threat. So it's GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon. It activates those receptors, and it kills kills your appetite. Sometimes people report even forgetting to eat. And people are starting to use it in bodybuilding. Nick Walker's reported using it. Another guy, Mitri Fit, that I follow. Congrats on Mitri Fit for getting his pro card this weekend. I don't know him personally. I just follow him on TikTok and Instagram. I think he's reported using it, so it's getting a lot more use. I personally don't use it because I don't want it to affect anything. Like, I'm really adherent to, and I can just be hungry. I'm not messed up with being hungry, but yeah, with the triple threat agonist of whatever, it allows you to eat a lot less. You're not hungry. It kind of kills the food noise. You forget to eat. It helps with insulin resistance. And the glucagon receptors, that activating that actually gives you a better chance of burning more calories while you're just sitting there. So it revs up your metabolism. That piece does that. So people are reporting losing up to 24% of their body weight, which is wild. It's not through all its clinical testing yet. FDA will eventually approve it, I'm sure. It's the next step from, Ozempic to Zepbound, Mounjaro, and now it's going to be Retatrutide. I don't know what, kind of clinical name that they're going to come out with, or, brand name, but it's a game changer. A lot of people will say, oh, well, it's cheating and stuff, and my argument to that is, you don't really know what people has went through to get to the point that they're at. Sometimes we use it in bodybuilding, or sometimes people are already pretty lean. They're trying to get the last little bit off. But some people are overweight and obese, and getting that extra bump of, getting into the right direction. You don't know what it's like to have the food noise. You don't know what it's like to be overweight. Like, you don't know what led people to the situations that they're in to be the size that they are, if they, are extremely overweight. So I don't judge, because it really, things like that will start very subtly, and you use food as comfort, and then you kind of eat, and you're going to get things on track the next month or the next week, and you never do, and you just continue eating, and it just gradually goes up from there. And before it gets, before you know it, it just gets really bad, and then it's hard to recover from it. And now these drugs are helping people, lose weight and get, a foot in the right direction, so to speak. And that's just like, coming off of heroin and using Suboxone or methadone to come off of heroin. I'm sure there's other examples. I was just a heroin user, years and years ago. So that's just kind of what I can, reference it to. But yeah, we're here at the cardio. We're here at TrueFit. We're going to do stairs. Stairs, my boy. 30 minutes. I'll probably just get on the stairs and scroll TikTok. When I come back out, we're going to talk about refeeds and why they're important. So catch you guys in 30 minutes. It'll probably be 3 seconds here. All right, so we are done with cardio. 3 seconds later. Took me 30 minutes. I kept my heart rate at about 118 to 131 was the highest that it got. This Apple Watch rated it as easy. It wasn't that difficult. So yeah, anybody that puts the cardio treadmill at a steep incline and then holds on to the rails and leans back, I want you to know that you are not doing anything different than walking at a flat surface. You're not doing anything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't hold on to the rails and lean back. If you're on the stairs, don't lean with your elbows. You're not doing a whole lot. I mean, it's better than being on the couch. I'll give that to you. It's better than being on the couch. It's better than not doing any cardio at all. So my hat's off to you. However, if you want to get serious, if you want some serious results, you got to stop taking shortcuts. But one is better than zero. Being on the Stairmaster or the treadmill is better than not. So, but once you get on there, hands off. I actually scroll on TikTok and stuff. When I was in there, I just watched a video. I watched some Sam Sulek, I watched some Chris Bumstead, and then I watched some Steve Furtnick. So I'm a Christian. I cuss sometimes. I'm not perfect, but I am a Christian. And the message that he had today, every now and then I watch some of his videos, is that The enemy of your peace is the insistence on your perfection. To get more peace, you have to let go of the expectation of perfection. And that's pretty difficult in bodybuilding when we get on a stage and we're judged, or we take pictures and we're critiqued online, or we take pictures of ourselves and critique ourselves, because we're always striving for a better version of ourselves. And that's the key right there, is to not strive for perfection, but to strive for a better version of yourself. To get better, obviously we want to look good and we want to hit certain PRs and we want to, etc. But striving for perfection is the enemy to your peace. Strive for progress, spiritual progress, physical progress, emotional progress. We're never going to be perfect. Expectations of perfection is the enemy of peace. So, with that being said, on to today's topic. I got a little sidetracked there because I got a little hyped up for bringing that message, is Refeeds. We talked about Ronnie Coleman, we talked about Retatrutide, and now we're going to talk about Refeeds. Refeeds is not an excuse to eat like an asshole. Refeeds is a strategic high carb day to help rebalance out hormones, to help with motivation. It's typically going to be higher carbs. Your protein's going to stay the same, your fats are going to stay the same, you're going to introduce more carbs. And the carb sources that I personally would recommend is rice, jasmine rice, white potatoes, regular potatoes. Those are going to be pretty much the only two. Sometimes you can get by with a refeed with eating sushi, which is amazing. But I'm going to read some of the science of what refeeds do, because I do know, but to be able to explain it better, leptin regulation. So leptin is a fat-burning thermostat hormone. And during a calorie deficit, the fat-burning hormones, the fat-burning thermostat is going to drop, and your body's going to go to homeostasis of trying to hold on to preserve that fat. It slows your metabolism. I don't know to what extent it slows your metabolism, but it does slow it. And so it does help to give your leptin a temporary bump to, speed up that fat-burning thermostat hormone. Hormone optimization. Your thyroid hormones T3 and T4 tend to dip during long-term dieting, and even during prep I will take T3 and sometimes T4. I do have it on the way. I don't know if I'll take it or not, but your hormones can dip like that. Testosterone may also decline. I'm not worried about that because we got that going. So a proper refeed can raise your T3 levels, optimize your hormones. Your performance and glycogen replenishment. Dieting is going to be depleted glycogen. You're going to get that really flat look. When you're got a good pump going and you're carved up and you get that, you're full. When you don't have a lot of carbs, you're going to look flat. So you'll have better pumps, enhanced recovery. A lot of times too, going too depleted with carbs and too depleted in a calorie deficit, you can get this brain fog. And so it's hard to think clearly. There's science behind it of carbohydrates and giving your glycogen energy, things like that. So, and also aesthetic improvements, it'll help. I have a cheat meal once a week. That typically is my refeed. However, a refeed is not a cheat meal. It kind of can be used. I use a cheat meal as a refeed. So that's typically what it is. And I introduce fats and all kinds of stuff. But every now and then I do have what's called a clean cheat, and that's going to be basically more of the foods that I'm already eating. A refeed. More rice. Usually I can sneak by with eating some sushi. And you do this every 7 to 14 days. Calories are going to be 20 to 30% above maintenance, if you can calculate that. reset hormones, replenish glycogen, boost metabolism, improve gym performance, and give you a mental break. Mental break, because it is not easy getting lean and getting shredded. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So that's what a refeed is, in case you're wondering how often that you should have it. 7 to 14 days. I do mine every 7 days. Just helps reset your hormones, leptin, T3, T4. So I'm glad you guys tuned in today. I'm getting off the exit. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. This hat that I'm wearing, it is Tennessee Pre, and that's the pre-workout that I use. Tennessee Pre. I'll try to leave a link in the comments. You can use D Pro to get 10% off. If you're in Tennessee, support the Tennessee. If you're not from Tennessee, support anyway. The pre-workout is good. I'm a big Rise fan, so I used Rise preloaded for a long time, high stem. I believe that Tennessee Pre has low stem or no stem, but I use the high stem. There's like Rainbow Rocket and Blackberry Splash or something like that. And I don't really do a full scoop all the time, but it is really good. They deliver fast. They leave personalized notes. They also have creatine. They also have glutamine. So if you're not taking glutamine, that's something else. So you can get all three of those staples. I put in what I drink before pre-workout is pre-workout, 2 scoops of creatine and 2 scoops of L-glutamine. That's what I take pre-workout. I also take 2 scoops of L-glutamine in my post-workout shake too. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ronnie Coleman, Retatrutide, and Refeeds. We're out.